Men and boys receive adequate protection against abuse. As I told you before, we're dedicating the entire week to men's issues here on the Big Hard Fact. Let's talk about things that men go through exclusively or things that mostly affect men, even though they also affect women. And today, the abuse of men and boys is the subject. So I'm talking about physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, all of it. On the glass ceiling, we've talked about issues like violence against women or rape and rape culture as it affects women. And whenever we do, I get calls from men telling me men are victims too, but nobody talks about it. And when I tell them, well, I talk about it, they tell me, oh, no, nobody say lie. And so I said to them last year, in January, I'm going to have an entire week where I dedicate to having conversations about the problems that men face. And now it's the time. Here's our big hard fact today. According to a study in the American Journal of Men's Health, domestic violence against men accounted for 0.0023% of hospital cases in Nigeria between 2003 and 2008. 0.0023% of hospital cases in Nigeria between 2003 and 2008. So that means that you take 1% of the hospital cases, take 1% of that 1%, now take another 1/4 of that. That's the percentage of times when a hospital case is a man whose wife or whose partner has physically abused him. Now, that's a very low number. And such a low number means one of two things. It's either men are not getting abused a lot, or men are getting abused a lot, but they're not reporting it. In other countries, there have been studies and surveys which seem to show that globally, men are more likely not to report abuse. Now, I'm a woman, so I don't know all the things that men go through. So this is one of those conversations where you are my guest, especially you as a man. You are the ones who know the types of abuse that men are enduring in silence every day. And so I'm hoping that you're going to help me break that silence today. Because like I always say when we have these conversations about women or from the perspective of women, and you call me to say, oh, nobody talks about men, I tell you, let's talk about it on its own day, in its own time. Don't shut down the story of women because you're not talking about your own story. And I'm hoping that today is that day. I'm hoping that today is that time. This time is that time. Now let's start with the sexual abuse of boys. We've been covering a story about this in the last few weeks coming out of Akwa Ibom State. A woman blowing the whistle about how her son was allegedly being raped in his boarding school, a JS1 boy. She claims that he was moved to a dormitory with senior boys and those senior boys raped him routinely. And when this story first broke, many Nigerians were horrified and they were shocked, myself included. I started hearing from my male friends, my male relatives, my colleagues, and lots of them were saying, Sandra, see you, this thing is common. It happens a lot. We just don't talk about it. That's according to the men that I spoke to. According to the men I spoke to, young boys are raping other young boys routinely in secondary schools, especially boarding schools, but it doesn't get talked about. And I wonder if this is something you can corroborate. This is something you can corroborate. If this is the case, let's talk about it. How rampant, in your opinion, is the sexual abuse of young boys? Now, it could be abuse and rape by other boys, like I just talked about, or it could be rape by men or by women. Let's talk about the dangers that young boys are facing. Let's talk about why there's so much silence about it. What are the reasons this sexual abuse of young boys is not being talked about enough? 0700 0700 993 993 993. Why is the abuse of boys not talked about as much as it should be? Why the silence? Why is there so much silence around it? What are the reasons why it's not talked about enough? 0700 993 993 993. Share your thoughts with me as well via WhatsApp 080 959 75805. Hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello.
Super Sandy.
Thanks for calling us. Sandra, that's my name. What's your name?
Yeah, I just want to give you that AKA Super Sandy.
No,
Sandra.
Just, you can say Super Sandra.
All right, Super Sandra.
What's your name?
Yeah, this is Adela Phillips calling from Alagbadu.
Adela, how rampant do you think the abuse of boys is, the rape of boys is?
To be candid with you, it's rampant as the days of yore. You know why I said so? Because I went to a boarding school.
Okay.
And it's not a new thing. It is just that it is underreported. And the fear of, like, you know the cliche now, are you not a man? Be man, be strong. That kind of a thing. And that is why it's like we look at that as it's underreported.
So you think it's underreported because it would be unmanly to report it?
You get, that's just the point. And secondly, in boarding schools, especially when it is what's it called? Where you have boys only. When it comes to boys only. Because I went to a boys only.
A boys' school.
Yeah, and it is rampant because you know why? Especially if a junior, if you're a senior, and a junior has a kind of huge, you know, this Ajebota kind of like.
Okay.
You know, there are some boys that will come like Ajebota. They behave like their environment where they are being raised are like in the mix of female and all that. So when they get to school, especially boarding school, they have this picture of like a female. So the boys only that has been like in 3 months, you know, they've not gone, you know, it's like, you know, this kind of, you know, it is happening. Because I remember those days I was just like a dog in school. So then I do like, what is going on here? In fact, there was a point they tagged it sodomy. They call it sodomy those days.
Okay.
Those that go to boarding school at the time without saying. So most I was like an advocate of that. What up is this? In fact, it's crazy.
And it didn't get reported because they were boys.
It didn't get reported because number one, who do you want to go and report?
The teachers. The teachers are supposed to protect you.
You know, those days, I don't know of now. Those days is like the senior is like the higher and mighty.
Okay.
In fact, it's a point whereby the house-masters will be telling the seniors that they have every right. Only when you are SS3 most especially, SS2, they will like, the junior ones will like, you know, they can say, okay, come and sleep under my bed. You understand? That is where it starts from. Sleep under the bed from maybe from after prep till the next morning. And nobody goes to go and meet housemaster. Look at what was happening. Nobody, because when you go, you get times 10 of it.
You get times 10 from whom? The housemaster or the student?
No, you get times 10 of the senior. Because that is when they will now share it out. Go and fetch water. As you are dropping, go and buy me food. As you are getting bath, go and wash my clothes. As you are getting bath, go, you know. So the best is just like...
So what you're saying...
Punishment, instead of having you in a multiple kind of circles of punishment.
Wow.
So that's just the point. So in those days, like it's like that. Anybody that goes to boarding school will know that you can't go and report your senior because your case will be shared among other seniors.
Thank you very much for calling me. Now, is this a problem that is unique to boarding schools? Did it happen with day schools as well? Did you have sexual abuse in day schools as well? And I'm not talking about sexual abuse of boys that happens in just schools. I'm also talking about the rape of young boys, period. Now, it could be abuse and rape by other boys, but it could also be rape by men or rape by women. What are some of the dangers that young boys are facing? Why is there so much silence about it? My first caller said it's because of the man angle. Because as man, you're not supposed to talk about these things. And I'm wondering where that comes from. Where does that come from? That men should go through something so traumatic and be silent about their pain. Where does that come from? 99.3. Hello.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Bayo.
Welcome, Bayo.
Okay. Yeah, sincerely, the last caller really, I think it needs it on the board, seriously. It's quite pathetic, honestly speaking. I don't know even if you can re-echo all he has just said. Let them hear. A lot of people have, have gone through this kind of traumatizing experience,
Okay.
And, the saddest part of it is he has now formed, the part of their life. So because it's just like, okay, where you cannot, you cannot beat them, you join them. So a lot of people's psyche, has been upturned, and probably, channeled to all this kind of, nastiness, and the kind of ugly experience they have, been subjected to. So a lot of people found it out very difficult, to come out of the trauma. Then they continue in that way. He will never mind, So it's quite so pathetic, especially in burden, like I already said, reasons why that kind of thing is not that too rampant in the day school is that, of course, you have, even if at all you tend to keep it another. We have some sensitive parents, like even when the moment you come home, they're like, what happened? Why are you like this and things like that. So from there, so the grief and the rampancy of it is not as much as that of day school. You understand now?
Now, why is there a silence about it? Why isn't it talked about?
You know what?
What?
I think I have a share experience of what the man has just said. No, not to me personally, because I stay in how do I call it, a dual school. What I mean that
boarding and day.
Yeah, boarding and thank you. So, but we chose to go and rent our own apartment outside, even though we left far distance from our own home. So we were supposed to be on boarding, but myself and my cousin, we just like, let's stay outside. So that one gave us a little, least of relief or another. But, a lot of our friends that time told us virtually almost what the last caller has just said. Because if you dare, report, you see, and that is why I say, please, President Sandra, I really like this particular channel. Please re-echo it. Not all the parents, actually know what is going on or what their kids or their wards have. I don't even mind those that are even working. I don't even mind those that are probably graduate serving and things like that. They should retrospect. Let them go back. A lot of people, they are not the kind of child, they are not the kind of daughter or even the son they are looking at. Their son or their daughters are not the kind of, the one they have actually, launched, into that kind of school that time. Because of this kind of experience, they have, a lot of them kept it to themselves.
So what you're saying is, parents, talk to your children.
Yeah, exactly. And also the authority of the school. That is why it starts from. Even if a housemaster or whoever saddled with that kind of responsibility could not be, could not be, how do I call it now?
Bothered.
Disciplined enough. So man, you should be able to, mind the psychology of the two bodies now, because you have the senior classes over there, you have the complainant. So it is the responsibility of the housemaster. I don't know if we could be telling you a housemaster could not tell us that he's not been having that kind of report so long. So you should be able to discretionarily know how to, protect the interest of the complainant. Shut that, the culprit will not be able to know who has done what.
Yes.
So it is happening. It is happening. Sincerely, it is happening. We just got about to know about that deeper level with it. It is been happening. I'm telling you.
Thank you for calling me to tell me. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Do men and boys receive adequate protection against abuse? In your opinion, how rampant is the sexual abuse of young boys, both in the hands of boys, in the hands of women or girls, in the hands of men? How rampant is the sexual abuse of young boys? 0700 993 993 Why is there so much silence about it? With women, there used to be quite a lot of silence, but more and more women are speaking up. Why isn't that the case with boys and men? 0700-993-993. Hello. Thanks for calling. Hello.
Happy New Year, President Sandra.
Same to you. What's your name, sir?
It's Mr. Paul speaking from Egbeda.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sandra, the underreporting of this issue, I look at it from our age of civilization. You see, civilization has a lot to do in information management and the rest of it. Prior to this time, we had not gotten the opportunity on the air until the birth of Nigeria Info. That is what I am relating to be called our age of civilization.
Okay. Paul? Oh, no. I'm sorry, Paul. Call back if you can. Hello. Thanks for calling.
Auntie Sandra.
Welcome, Frank.
Yes. Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Yeah. You see, I like this your topic. Like this woman from Aquarium now, you are saying, the only God that makes us to heart of that thing. Because if you watch now, that thing has been going on for a very long time. And nobody seems to know. But this one has happened. And many of them are doing it. But nobody knows.
Yeah,
Now,
but we're not talking about the woman specifically. Hers is one story. I'm asking whether, in your opinion, you think...
I know. I am just starting from there.
From there, okay.
Okay, now, one man was complaining in this same station now that he's a photographer. That he went to snap some girls somewhere and they lost inside the room. After many hours, but when he comes out, when he wanted to talk, people around was saying, don't talk, don't talk. If you talk now, people will say, now you. If you talk now, people will say, now you want to rep them. Don't talk. Just carry your camera, go. It's that kind of thing now. Then the man leaves. The man did not do anything. He was just complaining it here. And that was the end of that matter. So somebody was complaining also. At this he was captured because of a girlfriend to that hostel, because there was this hostel opposite the hostel at Enugu there. This boy spent 4 good days there. And after he was complaining of how this girl was destroying him, even though he will be shouting that I'm tired.
Frank, are you there? Hello, Frank? What's going on? Hello? Frank? Okay. Frank will have to call us back. So Frank is telling me the story of 2 men who were raped and who didn't feel like they could come forward and report their rape because of reasons that are not very clear to me. So this man says that he went to photograph young women or women and was locked in a room with them. I didn't get the rest of the story. I don't know if he was raped. I don't know if he was sexually harassed, but his safety, his personal safety was definitely threatened if he was locked in a room with women. And then he comes out and instead of reporting it, or when he tries to report it, people around there tell him, don't report it because they'll say that you tried to rape them. And then Frank also tells me about somebody in Enugu who was reportedly raped by women, and but he didn't finish that story because the connection dropped off at that point. Now, that's the question I'm asking. Why do men not report their rape? When men are raped, why don't they report it? When boys are abused, why is it not reported? Why is there so much silence around the rape and abuse of boys and men. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Ruben, ma'am, from Yaba.
Welcome, Ruben.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a program somewhere, and one of a board that was actually complaining about this issue. And the perspective he gave was really, really, very important, and I'd like to share that. He said that men, naturally, we don't tend to open up to teachers because the way we see them, the way they see them is more like they come to the class and they leave. They come to class and teach. After they are finished teaching, they go back to the staff room. So the staff room and the teacher's room is more like a very, very difficult place to be. So they see the seniors as the authority. So if there's any issue or anything, or they are going through anything, you have to pass through the seniors before you get to the teacher. So as men, naturally, they won't go to the teachers because we don't really see them as mentors. We just see them as just teachers. Come to class, teach. After you are teaching, carry your chalk and book, go. That's how they see them. And that's why this thing is being unreported. And also, another reason which everybody has been saying is that men, we men, the way we are being wired, I don't know why we are being wired like that. I hope it changes. We are just being seen as we should be strong. We should handle it. What's there? Even, I remember, are you there, ma'am?
I'm here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in mixed school. I actually went to mixed school.
Okay.
And I passed through some of this a bit, though it was actually not really anything that has to do with sexual, but it mostly has to do with go and buy me this, go and buy me that. And how did I handle it? He was just my friend, and a Christian, Igbo guy. I saw the way he handled them, the way he did, and I followed his footsteps, and I was able to liberate myself. I could not go to the classroom to go and meet any teacher and say that this guy is abusing you. So he was just my friend. The way he handled it, the way he just let me even try and do strongest more. I did the strongest. The guy took a step back, and I noticed that because of tapping current, most men don't really get to abuse and sexually abuse women or even men. Their fellow men. Because there's always a woman to lean on to when there's a queue. So when will the man have time to be trying to sexually abuse his own fellow man? When there's tapping, when tapping is there to just relieve, See this life. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you for calling. Now, what he's saying is tapping is actually groping, but Nigerians gave it a fancy name to not make it sound as bad. But that's what it is. It's groping, and it's actually a crime. It's it's actually sexual assault. That's what groping is, and it's punishable under the law. But it's quite common amongst Nigerians, and it starts from there, secondary school, and then you find it in public places, in the bus, in the bank, in a taxi, happening all over the place. And he's talking about it happening more to women than to men, but you have stories of young men, boys, men, who are sexually abused in public, in schools. Why is there so much silence about it? You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and we're dedicating the entire week to discussing men. We're discussing things that happen to mostly men or happens more to men than it does to women. And while sexual abuse happens more to women than it does to men, you have men who suffer abuse, physical, emotional, sexual. Why is it not talked about as much? That's the question I'm asking today. Because every time we talk about the women, men will call you and say, oh, and men too. Why don't you talk about it? And I always say to men, we will have a day when we can talk about you. And today is the day. And I just want to find out why. Why isn't it talked about? We've got so many calls so far, and they've tried to tell me why. Some have said, well, in schools, the teachers don't protect you. That's already a red flag for me, because teachers are supposed to be there to protect you. But in schools, teachers don't protect you. And then there's also the added layer of you be man. Now, man you be. You supposed to endure am. You supposed to be strong. Chest arm. Where does that come from? That na man you be. You supposed chest arm. Where does that come from? Where does that come from? And I wonder what it leads to. That na man you be, chest up. I wonder what bottling up all of that trauma leads to. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I wonder. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
We'll be back in a moment.
Our friend Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. No matter what we offer him. More data, please. So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said? Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me? Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data. All thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans. With the longer validity you get on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 naira for a year. Dial star 777 hash now to start enjoying these mega plans.
Glow Unlimited.
Make up for lost travel time and let Emirates reconnect you with the world. If you've got big plans for 2021, it's time to put them into action. Take advantage of our special fares, starting from 313,585 naira. Every flight includes multi-risk travel insurance, COVID-19 cover, and the flexibility to change your booking. Visit Emirates.com, book by the 25th of January, and travel with peace of mind. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Visit rentmoney.com or call 0700 5500. Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Visit rentmoney.com or call 0700 5500. Need money? Rent money.
Our friend Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. Gigantic, actually. And if there's one phrase we have come to know Oliver for, it is this.
More data, please.
No matter what we offer him.
More data, please.
So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said?
Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me?
Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data. All thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans. With the longer validity you get on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 naira for a year. Dial star 777 hash now to start enjoying these mega plans.
Glow Unlimited.
I won't tell you the secret of better food. Now the new no chicken and classic seasoning powder. The ingredient they take make am na natural by nature, like real chicken, rosemary, black and white pepper, garlic, onion, parsley, mushroom, coriander, and plenty more. If you knack new no seasoning powder for inside your jollof, fried rice, egusi, and all other soup, you go know say flavor pass flavor. New no seasoning powder, natural by ingredients, bangba by flavor.
Guy, wetin dey make you scatter house like this? Abeg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry am give Sade yesterday but you no dey use am again na. Yay! You don carry my bonus give landlord pikin. Na today you go pack out. On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Obonga will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woofo. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial star 241 star 7 hash. Terms and conditions dey.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and we're talking about the protection of men and boys against abuse. Do men and boys receive adequate protection against abuse? Let's talk about verbal abuse by women against men. Before the break, we were talking about sexual abuse of boys. Now let's talk about verbal abuse by women against men. Anybody can abuse anybody verbally, but I'm hearing from some of you that in marriage, there's a big problem of women verbally abusing their husbands. Now, you have women who physically abuse their husbands, but apparently this is not as common because of the usual difference in physical strength. And so, more often, an abusive woman's weapon of choice is words. Remember that when we started the show, I told you that according to a study in the American Journal of Men's Health, domestic violence against men accounted for 0.0023% of hospital cases in Nigeria between 2003 and 2008. And I told you how to do that math. So you take 1% of the hospital cases, then take 1% of that 1%, and you take 1/4 of that, and that's the percentage of times when a hospital case is a man whose wife or whose partner physically abused them. It's a very low number. It's a very low number that suggests to me that either men are not reporting about it or men are not getting abused a lot. And if you listen to some of the men who talk about abuse, when they talk about abuse, they're telling you about the things their wives are saying. They're not telling you that their wives are beating them. Apparently, this thing is very common in Nigerian households. I'm told that this is something that men are simply told or taught that they must endure. That's how women are, they're told. Your wife will say things to provoke you. Just bear it. Learn to bear it. And worse than that, apparently, men are told that if they cannot endure the verbal abuse, it means that they are not strong enough. Are you not a man? Now, a lot of men are saying that if the roles were reversed, if it were a man using abusive or insulting or cutting words against his wife, there would be general condemnation. Some of these men are saying that society, both men and women, have more sympathy for a woman who is a victim of verbal abuse than for a man who is a victim of verbal abuse. The woman is sympathized with, while the man, if he complains, is mocked for not being strong enough and manly enough. And I wonder if you agree with that assessment. Do you agree with this assessment? Do you think that such a double standard exists? And if you feel that that double standard exists, where do you think it comes from? Why does our society give more of a pass to verbal abuse in relationships if it is the woman abusing the man? And why is our society less sympathetic to a male victim than a female one? Why? 0700-993-993-993. Is it because our society believes that men should have fewer feelings? I mean, men have feelings. Everybody has feelings. Everybody has emotions. We all have vulnerabilities. But some people are arguing that society unfairly expects men to endure things as if they don't have emotions. Be a man. Do you agree with this? Do you believe this is actually a problem? Do you even think it's a problem to begin with? I think we should even start there. Or do you think, nah, it's fine. People are just being too sensitive nowadays. You liberals. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. I hope we can have a real conversation on the show today. 0700-993-993-993. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. What's your name?
Oh, yeah, Ruben on the...
Hello? Oh, I think we got cut off there. Sorry about that, Ruben. 99.3.
Sandra.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, this has been happening this morning.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So, for what that boy was telling you, I will enter into that woman matter now, yeah?
Which woman's matter? Hello? Sorry, Frank. Call back again. Hello?
Hello?
How are you? What's your name?
I'm fine. I'm Kunle.
Kunle, welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so difficult getting through. Thank God I finally got through.
Yes.
Yeah. The issue we were discussing now, the issue of abuse. It's something that is it's an age-long thing. I can even tell you that I was a victim.
Okay.
I was a victim growing up. I think when I was in my teens, when I was 11 years, 12 years,
Okay.
I was actually abused.
Okay.
Hello?
I can hear you. You were abused, you said?
Yeah, I was actually abused by a female.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And women or girls tend to grow faster than boys. So I guess because the lady in question wasn't given enough time to go out, mingle. The kind of parents that always want to keep their wards or children indoor.
Okay.
So I guess because of that, she took advantage of me and abused me.
And she raped you?
So one thing yeah, she abused me. Yes.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't know if I would call it rape, but she had a way of because she had grown taller and bigger. It was only later I realized that we're just about the same age. I thought she was even, because I was growing up, I wasn't too tall.
Okay.
But she had grown faster and taller, so I felt maybe she was older.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, because that was a conversation I would have loved to explore. I had so many questions. I do hope he can call back, considering how difficult it was for him to call in to begin with. 99.3, hello.
Sandra, good evening.
Good evening, what's your name?
Hello?
Hello, what's your name, sir? Now, wow, what's happening? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, what's your name?
Oh, thank God. Yeah, my name is Ruben from Yaba.
Welcome, Ruben.
Yeah, this kind of topic, when Joyce was raising about it, he was talking about physical abuse, men against women, and I was talking the topic of verbal abuse, like serious. Like when you physically woman, on the surface. But there's one that a man did, and it's verbal abuse. When you put and to go, and the woman just raging, like that of a time, and know what to do. So like, very good verbal abuse, maybe where she don't aging you, they are better than out there. Or some men, to marry and
I'm here.
You have to have car. You need to even get an attention of the woman. The financial pressure is there. And then when things start getting when she starts driving, she start acting differently. Start behaving anyhow. Okay, there are some words that said like I'm just managing you. Number two, I'm just your third leg is too small. It's not big enough. If you get what I mean. So those kind of verbal things can really affect a man. I think research should be going into it. How a woman's tongue affects a man. It should be studied, should be looked into. But it is very serious. We are going through it, and nobody is talking about it. It's only physical abuse. Men beat a woman. It's what everybody is talking about. Nobody is talking about.
Well, we're talking about it right now. So when you say nobody's talking about it, are you being factual? Because we are talking about it. Because you're saying nobody's talking about it while we are talking about it.
Well, you just mentioned the research, and I was expecting the percentage of verbal abuse, and I had nothing. It was only 50. It was only
again because so my people say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. If you keep your mouth closed, your mouth will smell. And if you're not talking about your abuse, the reason that the abuse of women is front and center and it's grabbing all the headlines is because women are not silent about their pain. But men are silent about their pain. And if you don't talk about, if person match you and shout, they're not gonna say they match you, or they go to say pain you. You understand what I'm saying? So if as a man you're getting abused and you're expecting somebody to come into your home and know that you're getting abused without saying anything, then that abuse will continue for a long time until one person kills the other or one person decides to leave the union. So I don't think it's fair to say it's not talked about. The person who is the victim is the one who should talk about it.
Exactly.
Right? So why do men not talk about it? That's the conversation we're having today.
Yeah. I blame the men actually. I blame the men. And I think you can just believe that once you beat the woman will shut up. Once you give her a dirty slap, she will calm down and there will be peace. So, and that has been reinforced for a long time. So that's what we always believe in, that once we give her a dirty slap, she will calm down. She will not disturb us again. We all leave the house for her. Go to the bar, drink yourself.
But you see, that's addressing a bad thing with a bad solution.
Well, exactly.
Is there perhaps a better way to solve this particular problem?
I think women just need to fix ourselves. If we speak out, our fellow men will start saying we are not men enough, we are not this enough, we are not that enough. Handle that. Men like strong men. African men, women like strong men. We are not strong enough.
So you're saying men are the problem of men?
Yes, we are actually our own problem. The status is not helping us to speak out.
Wow.
That's it, man. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, Ruben, for calling us. So that's the thing. I mean, it's like I was saying to Ruben, if you don't talk about the problem, we won't know that you have a problem. And it's not right to try to steal the spotlight of somebody else when they've decided to talk about their own problem. What I mean by that is when women are talking about their own problems, it's not that time that you come out and say, men too. If you talk about your own problems, perhaps it will be listened to. But like I said when I was talking about the show, when I was talking about this issue, you do have men who talk about it, but society, both men and women, do not think of it as seriously as they think of the woman's pain, the woman's victimhood when she's the one complaining. Why is that? That's the conversation I'm hoping that we can have. Why is that? Why doesn't the man get as much sympathy as the woman does? What are the things that men endure in marriage, but they're told that they cannot complain about it? How rampant is the verbal abuse of men? Why are men told to endure these things in silence? What is the root cause of this culture of silence around the abuse of men? 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
Good evening, Sandra. My name is Abednego.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we've had a similar topic to this sometime last year. And I think these things start from as little as not cry, make she not laugh you when we small. I keep saying this thing. And so because of that is what has been passed on. It started from as little as that up until now that we are grown. So Sandra, just imagine. No, imagine I'm now. Say as you day on radio, I call you, baritone voice, come they cry, Sandra, see what they do me. You might take me serious. But how many men out there go take me serious? Say, I call to even talk about them. That's to tell you how serious this problem is for us. The whole talking about going to drink, that's because that's the only way some people feel, oh, they can lessen the problem at hand at that point in time. But is it really working? It's not. And then what have we done over the years as men? We've used power to fight power. Once you beat her once, she'll not go try and with you again, which is not even supposed to be in the first place.
And which is also not true, because you beat her, she'll say, you must kill me today, you must kill me today.
Exactly.
So she's saying more things and you're beating her more.
But you must kill me today because now it's a two-sided thing. People where they, like, let's say it's a compound thingy. People where they go contact you say, you be man, how you go beat her. Okay, fine. But now, if she was to beat me, what would they still say? You don't see touch her now. So this thing is tricky. I'm not going to lie.
So how do men get out of this and win? How do men win? Because it sounds to me like you're saying that you men are resigned to a life of silent pain. And that's not the way to live.
Well, I think part of the way that we can start to fight this thing is we need more forums where it's men trying to share these problems first. And then maybe a few men starting up something whereby make we speak up, make we see what thing go happen. By the time some more men can speak up fearlessly and be like, okay, fine, you go insult me, say I talk. But God knows that you that is insulting me, your own big past my own. You just they wait for me to lead the way. So I think if a group of men come together, there might be hope to start up something. Then maybe we need a place of our own to start having discussions
about these things.
And I mean, God bless, when we had the men's room here, it did a lot, whether we like it or not. So we have a long way, but let's start from somewhere. And then children should be taught to cry as men. Cry the cry. If you think enter your blood, cry. You go do it again, cry. If not, you will bottle it, and then when you grow up, you will become a monster as well.
Abednego, it was a pleasure talking to you. What do you think about that solution? Do you think that that's a way forward? Because, I mean, I think as a society, we are cultivating a lot of men who are bottling up a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, and that can create a lot of damaged men, a lot of men who cannot live, who cannot have a happy life, who cannot have a life where they are all they can be. Because there's all this pain they're carrying around, all this pain they're not speaking about. What's the root cause of this culture of silence? Abednego says it's from when you're a child, and as a man, they tell you no cry. When person beats you, when a big girl beats you, maybe for exercise or for sports or for classroom or anything, you fight with a girl, don't cry. You fight with other boys, don't cry. Maybe, I don't know, but what's the root cause? I have my own opinions and my own thoughts on the subject, but I want to hear yours. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hello, good day. Hello, good day.
Thanks for calling. What's your name?
Please, I want to remain anonymous.
That's
please.
fine.
How will you seem if I come to you and tell you that my wife is beating me?
Sympathetic towards you?
I'm in a kind of dilemma presently
Okay.
that I feel emotionally down most times.
Okay.
And I've thought severally to quit the marriage.
Okay.
I'm married with 4 kids.
Okay.
Most times when I want to approach my wife for intimacy, she treats me as if I had physics on my hands. At one time, when we were having just 2 children, I told her that I needed some time. She was calling me. Then she was away.
Okay.
And job took me away too. And I told her that she should give me some time. But now, most times I think of the children. If not so, I would have quitted the marriage. Sometimes when men take to having extramarital affairs, sometimes I now feel part of their pain because sometimes the women pushes them to the extreme.
So let me understand something. Is your wife physically abusive with you?
It's not physically. I'm talking emotionally now.
So she's emotionally abusive, and you feel like and you feel like you're unhappy in the marriage.
Yes, because most times I feel husband and wife should be intimate enough. We should at least talk intimately. Then at least. So sometimes I will decide not to approach her. Even sometimes take a month or even more than that. She feels concerned about it.
Have you guys had a conversation with a counselor about this? I'm not talking about a Jesus counselor. I'm talking about a real a counselor, like a psychiatrist or a therapist. Sorry, not a psychiatrist now. A therapist. Have you had a conversation with somebody about it?
No.
So that's usually the first step. So because she may have some things that's going on and she's not telling you about it. So you probably need to talk to a professional who could help you both figure out what's going on. But I have a controversial take. I always say, and people are probably not going to like me for saying this, but whatever. But I always say that it's actually better to leave a broken, unhappy marriage than to stay in a broken, unhappy marriage for the children. Because what the children are seeing when they see both parents in this broken, unhappy marriage is a model of what marriage should be like. And you don't want to model that for your children.
Especially my first son. Most times, he would tell her that you are insulting my father. She would just scold the child, and the child would say, he's older than you, at least he's older than you.
How old is your first son?
going to 9.
9 years old. So he's already learning. You're already
Yeah.
you're already shaping him.
Even far before this age that he is now, he speaks.
Yeah, that's what I'm
about
so that's what I'm saying. Like with couples that stay and they stay for their children, they're teaching their children the toxic negative things that marriage is not. When sometimes if they go their separate ways, their children could grow up in homes that are happy. But that's not the kind of advice that you typically hear from Nigerians. So that's why I said my opinion on the subject is typically controversial.
It's factual. It's factual. It may be controversial, but it's factual.
So that's the thing. You guys can consider therapy, talk to a professional, and if it doesn't work out, I would say, perhaps you'll be happier apart than you are together. Again, I don't know all the facts, so don't take my advice, please.
Of course.
Of course. Thank you so much for calling and thank you for trusting me with your story. But this is a conversation that I feel we need to have again, and I'm going to bring it back because everyone is trying to call me at the same time. My phone lines are going crazy. You'll not believe the calls coming into the studio at the moment. What I can do, though, is quickly take a look at WhatsApp, see the messages that have come in so far, and then take them as we wrap up the show. Yes, there's only 1 hour to talk about these things, and 1 hour is not nearly enough. Ayomide says, society has this kind of mentality that a man cannot be abused sexually. I don't know why, but even if a man says it out loud, they will go against the man that it's a lie, which is not supposed to be. Our mentality does a lot of harm than good to us. Now, how do we change that? We've got somebody who says, my name is Abiodun. I experienced abuse from strange people in my house, in my workplace. This is a lot. I'm going to have to take my time to read it. We've got a message here from Ossie who says, Sandra, please run a program on hard facts and tag it Men Also Cry. Assure the men callers that anonymous will be the order of the day. Please consider it. Okay, I'll consider it. Thank you for sending that message to me. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time, so I cannot even take any more messages. But thank you so much, Lagos, for trusting me with your stories, trusting me with your time. We will find another day to do this again, this specific topic again. Until I am back on air tomorrow for the big global stories, I am Sandra Ezekwesili on social media. Those were your hard facts, Lagos. Good night.
Sports after this.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this, I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry and give Sade yesterday, but you know they use am again now.
Yeah, you don't carry my bonus give landlord picking. Now today you go pack out.
On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Ogbonge will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woof. To begin enjoy this woof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions dey.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Make up for lost travel time and let Emirates reconnect you with the world. If you've got big plans for 2021, it's time to put them into action. Take advantage of our special fares, starting from 313,585 naira. Every flight includes multi-risk travel insurance, COVID-19 cover, and the flexibility to change your booking. Visit Emirates.com, book by the 25th of January, and travel with peace of mind. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Are you a young Nigerian resident in Lagos between ages 18 and 35 with innovative and sustainable solutions to COVID-19? Is your business targeting a sustainable development goal, and does it have significant economic impact, particularly in the circular economy, agribusiness, health, education, and creative sectors? Application is now open for the Orange Corners Nigeria Business Incubation Program, funded by the Netherlands Enterprise Agency and implemented by Fate Foundation. The program supports 20 entrepreneurs with enterprise training, advisory and business incubation services, mentoring and funding in a 6-month incubation program to develop innovative ideas into viable business models. To apply, visit www.orangecorners.com/Nigeria.
Guy, what's wetin dey make you scatter house like this, eh? Abeg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry am give Sade yesterday, but you no dey use am again now.
Yay! You don carry my bonus give landlord pikin. Na today you go pack out.
On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Ogbonge will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woofo. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions, Joe.
Airtel, the smartphone network.